Well, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for Beyond Pink's podcast. This is our 6th episode now, which is really exciting. And today I am joined by Lynne Blackwood. Lynne is a longtime volunteer and designer for Beyond Pink. Mm-hmm. So welcome, Lynne. Thank you.
Thanks, and I'm so glad to be back again.
Yes, you did take a 1-year hiatus from designing last
year. Yeah, from
year.
designing. And
you were very much involved. I leaned on you a lot last year.
I couldn't stand. I mean, it was nice to have that little bit of mental break on show day, you know, to just be able to sit and watch the show was really new for me because I didn't have to be frantic and worry about the design and the model and the, you know. Yeah. So that was really special. But as soon as that was over, I went, oh my God, I got to design again. I have to design again.
So tell us a little bit about your background, what you've done for work and how you've gotten to be kind of where you are now.
Well, it's kind of, everything kind of went full circle in that what I went to college for, what my degree is in, is actually theater. I wanted to be a professional actress, but in the course of studying for a degree in theater, the curriculum requires that you do costume design and light design and set design, and so I studied all of those things, and my work study job to help pay for school was in the costume shop at the theater. So that, helped. That's why I know my way around a sewing machine. And then when I started my professional career, which was in the entertainment industry, if ever I couldn't get acting work, thank God I had studied in college, I could always get costume design work or set design work. So I was able to, for the most part, I think I'm one of the only former actresses who never waited tables. I've done everything else. I've sold telephones. I've washed huckleberries. I've done everything, sold municipal bonds, but I've never waited tables. So I did the first 20-some years after I got out of college, I spent as an actress, director, singer, stand-up comedian, designer, whatever. And then I decided I needed to get all of my belongings out of storage and live like a grown-up. So I sort of came back to my hometown, back to the Tacoma area, and sort of settled down. Got my bathroom stuff out of storage, and ended up working for a healthcare company that very shortly sort of the CEO of the company kind of recognized my talents, and she developed a position for me whereby I became the interior designer for the company, and we had anywhere between 60 and 70 buildings on the West Coast. So I spent the next 22 years using my skills as knowing color and knowing fabric and knowing art and knowing this sort of thing to make pretty environments. And then, long story short, I end up in Spokane and I hear about things like Beyond Pink, and I went, okay, well, I've designed costumes for 1,000,000 years. I could probably do that. So here I am full circle again now, back choreographing and making costumes and building set pieces. And so I guess that theater degree that, my mom was hoping, oh, God, I hope she can get a real job, it's always stayed with me. So yes, that's I used awesome. My degree.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with Beyond Pink?
I heard about it through a friend who had I moved here in 2012.
Oh, wow.
And just happened to walk into a little sort of antiques and collectibles store on Lower Monroe. And the woman who owned that place, we just got chit-chatting because I had started again, back to my costuming roots, I had started making my own line of clothing. So I went in there and was talking to her about, did she have clothing vendors, et cetera. And she told me about two things, Beyond Pink and then Glamourita, which was a little shop up on Garland.
That's right.
And so and long story short, so I applied to design for Beyond Pink that year, not knowing anything. I was so dumb. I made the bra, didn't realize that the designers make bras and put them on pretty little models. I made the bra and modeled it myself because I didn't know any better. Everybody went, oh, Grandma's on stage again. And that connected me up. Glamourita connected me up with that owner who was Ronnie Rhino, who was a designer for Beyond Pink. So that's how it all happened.
Wow.
11 years ago.
Wow, so you've done 11 designs.
I've done 11. This year will be 11.
Well, this year will be
because
11,
I took last year off.
That's right. So you've seen it kind of evolve from the runway bras to, more of a full garment and a production. How's that?
Yeah, with the flying monkeys. Yeah. So when I first started, it's like everybody was doing, well, because it was a, quote, designer bra fashion show.
Yeah.
So everybody did traditional bras, and the models wore just whatever, black pants, black skirt, black whatever. So a lot of people in the community, I mean, back in those days when I started there, oh my gosh, there must have been 35 or so.
Wow.
Bras that walked down the runway in a given show, because back then you just walked down the runway and you walked off again, and then little by little, the outfits, at one point, a lot of us shifted from bras to corsets.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I know the reason we shifted to corsets was it gave you more canvas to work on.
Yeah.
Instead of just 2 cups and a strap.
Yeah.
Now I've got this whole thing. So that started the movement towards making a bigger canvas. Well, if I'm going to make a bigger canvas, why don't I make the bottom part too?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so then that led to let's have some set pieces.
Oh my God.
That work. Well, we designers all joke about the fact that, because we're all like sisters now.
Yeah.
We joke about the fact that we don't compete with each other. We compete with ourselves. So if I did, flying monkeys and somersaulting elephants last year, what am I going to do to top that?
Yeah.
So the challenge is not to be bigger and better and more wonderful every year. It's not put on us by Beyond Pink or not put on us by competing with each other. It's like, I got to do something more than what I did last year. And it's a sickness.
I know you all, and I can attest to that.
It's a sickness.
Like competitive spirit.
About 2 weeks ago, I don't have any control. I've always said I have no control over when the inspiration comes for what I want to do. Sometimes the inspiration is good to me, and it holds off for a few months. But about 2 weeks ago, I got the inspiration for 2024, and I literally have been obsessing about it and going online and picking out things and putting them in my shopping cart. And
Wow.
Yeah, so it hit me. We joke about, oh my God, the week of the show, we're thinking about what we're going to do for next year. Well, this year it came a month early.
Well, hey, you're that much ahead of the game. Oh my
It is. It's an illness. We need an intervention.
It's all right. It makes my job a lot easier,
Oh,
so
God.
I'm fine with it.
Oh,
What did your first design look like then? Your first kind of bra?
the first one that I did and I modeled was, again, knowing nothing, and this was 11 years ago. So it was sort of a steampunk,
Okay.
but my sort of signature trademark in my clothing line that I was making was I did a lot of upcycled, I used a lot of like grandma's doilies, and it was all white lace was kind of my signature trademark back then. And I believed in recycling and upcycling materials, so I tried not to use anything, some things you have to buy new, zippers and thread and whatever.
Yeah.
But my textiles, I always tried to repurpose.
Yeah.
So the bra was, it had a lot of doilies, and then it had chains and metal.
Ooh.
and I I did. So I show up to rehearsal, and there's all these, young pretty things with their bras on. And back in those days, Charlie picked the music. We didn't have to. Yeah, we didn't have to pick our own music. We didn't have to do slides or any of that kind of stuff. So we're all lined up, ready to go during rehearsal, and I hit the doorway, and it was my next time. I was the next one down, and the music started, and I went out, and she had picked Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, and I just went crazy. I loved it. It was my era. It was vintage. It was hard rockin'. It was wonderful. I will never forget that moment when I heard that music.
That's awesome. That's a great memory to have.
It was terrific.
And then, safe to say, you were hooked from there.
Oh, absolutely. It is. I hate to describe it as a sickness. It's not a sickness. It's a
passion.
It's a passion. It's a mission.
Yeah.
It's and I know I can say this. I can speak for the other designers when I say it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because we have a passion for creating, for making, for literally doing stuff with our hands.
Yeah.
There's that passion. And when you can take that passion and you can hook your wagon to the train that is doing, I believe, the most we can do for the women in our community to get the word out. It's like you couldn't ask for a better situation.
Yeah.
I can make these pretty things, and by my making these pretty things, I can directly help maybe, getting even one woman a thermogram, or two, or three, or four.
Yeah.
And that's what builds the excitement every year, and that makes us designers want to come back. You think, oh my God, okay, so my package sold for this much this year, and you sit there and you calculate out, okay, so it went for this much. How many thermograms is that? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's 17 thermograms. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. It is. That's exactly how you end up looking at it.
And that's probably what keeps a lot of the designers coming back, is getting to directly see that kind of impact.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, you see, obviously last year we had quite the phenomenon.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Last year. And, our one designer Amy, who was the finale last year, and her package went for a ridiculous amount of money. Thank you, Spokane. $18,000. Yeah. I was kind of backstage when she went off, and she literally collapsed on the floor in the kitchen last year. it's that overwhelming to us as designers, I'm sure to the models to a certain extent,
absolutely.
to the organization, and then that frenzy, like, you know, we joke about it's the most fun you're ever going to have saving a life. Well, that until you go to the event and you experience that electricity in the room, you can't, words don't do it justice. And I don't care if it's your first time going, you know, maybe you went with a friend or you know, you're just there as an audience member. You don't have a connection to, you know, or maybe your company is a sponsor or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're at their table. It's your first time going to the event. I would venture to say that if you ask anybody in that situation, when they were walking out the door to go home, everyone would say, I've never seen anything like this. I've never felt anything like this.
Yeah, I think that's probably very true.
And it happens, I don't care how much money we make in each given year, that element is always the same.
Yeah.
That element is always the same. So the money is fabulous. Not gonna lie.
Yes, it is.
We love that green.
It's value. It's important part.
Boy,
of
do
what
we
we're
love
doing,
that.
What we do.
And I think part of it is, you know, Beyond Pink as an organization believes so strongly in what they're doing that belief, I think, you know, it rubs off.
Yeah.
It's in the room. It's like we all wore the same perfume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we went into the room that night, and everybody in that room can smell our evening in Paris.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And so you're just caught up in it. I mean, and it's, like I said, that's my experience.
Yeah.
Every year, year after year. I don't care. I mean, I remember back in the days when the bras were selling for $250 and we were going, yoo-hoo, you know? But the excitement is the same.
It is. That's true.
And I think there's a lot of things, too, that have contributed to up in the game every year. Obviously, our technical,
Oh, yeah.
our production values have increased.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the best MC and the best auctioneer
We do.
in town that can get a crowd going like whips them into a frenzy. And just the continued commitment of the designers and the models who come back. We have those tried and true models
do.
that are back every year. And it's funny now I watch, and we see they might have been, in their early 20s.
Yeah,
when I first started, and now they got 2 or 3 kids. So we've watched them all grow that way too. Yeah. And every year too, you meet and you learn about survivors, and those who we lost. And every year there are survivors, and every year there are some that we lose.
Yeah.
And Charlie, I can't remember if she said this to me or if it was on a piece of our literature or whatever. She says cancer doesn't quit, so we can't. We're not going to either.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun event, and I know a lot of people know us because of that, but the important part is that people don't forget where that money's going to and the mission that it's supporting. That's, for me, the important part too. Like, I want people to leave that event understanding what it is we're doing and why we need the funds.
Well, and as many years as I've been involved now, I continue to say Like when you guys do like a learning talk
Like a
or
lunch
whatever.
and learn.
Yeah, like a lunch and learn. So even this year, remember I said to you, you and Charlie did it, and there was me and one other person there.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
a
said,
small one.
as many years as I've been involved in this organization, I still learn something new because statistics change and medical procedures change. And, there's so much global change that there's always something new to learn. Well, if there's something new to learn, it makes you want to run out and shout it,
Yeah.
ladies, did you know this?
Pay attention.
Yeah. Do you know this?
That's true.
And traditional, I guess I'll use that word, medical protocols, I guess I'll say, I believe, don't share knowledge
Yeah.
of certain. 'Cause when I discovered Beyond Pink, when I first met Charlie, and she was telling me about what this was all about, et cetera, I was in my early 50s, and I was absolutely gobsmacked. I said, how can I be as old as I am, having gone through all these years, having my mammograms and all this kind of stuff, and never, ever once had a doctor tell me about this. And then I told my, 80-something-year-old mother, and she said the same thing. You're kidding me. Every woman I talked to about thermography has said, why have I never heard of this? There's something wrong there.
Yeah. And I wish I had a succinct answer for, why that's happening. But doing what I do, I hear it probably once a day.
At least.
At least, yeah. Like, why isn't my doctor telling me about this? Why don't I know this? And
Why is it important for women between the age of 20 and 30 to have a thermogram? When have you ever heard anything about breast health or breast care in a traditional medical setting when you were under the age of 45?
50, yeah. And for me, having family history of breast cancer, this was amazing because I could be proactive and I didn't have to wait until I was 40, 45, 50 to get a mammogram and then possibly get a bad result because it's just been sitting.
Yep.
So I feel lucky that I even heard about it.
Exactly. And God, if I had a nickel, because again, I grew up in the Tacoma area, so I have a lot of, family and friends back there. And ever since I've been here and been involved in Beyond Pink, and I start, professing about what it is we do and what the technology is, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, you guys, will you come over here and do a Beyond Pink over here? Will you do a Beyond Pink over here? No. We'll sit down and share with you how to do your own. But because those women are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We have a big enough challenge taking care of our own
Community
yeah. here, but you realize that I don't even want to go there, but I'm sure there's a global need for this information to be out. So I also hope that those people who are coming to our event and are learning about thermography are doing the same thing, that they're calling their sister in Iowa.
Yeah.
And they're calling, their Aunt Sadie in Los Angeles. And they're saying, do you know what I learned? Do you know about thermography? That's
the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. And thank God for technology.
Yeah. We can share that a little easier now than maybe in the past. But it is sad, and I wish it were different. And I wish someday that my job would be obsolete, where it's covered by insurance and we don't need to raise money for grants.
But
it's not where we are
know
yet.
better.
Yeah. It's not where we are yet.
So we keep
going.
keep pounding the drum. Keep, tooting on the trumpet till, I always think sometimes I believe the best way oftentimes is to make so much noise that they pay you to go away.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they finally realize that you're not going to shut up, they go, just break them down.
Yeah.
just break them down. I'm going to be on your doorstep. So just give me a sponsorship and I'll go away.
I should get you on sponsorship. This is what I'm learning.
No, please, no. That's the hard. You guys, the design part is the easy part. The getting the people there and the sponsorship and the teaching piece of this is the hard part.
It can be, but I enjoy it. And I will say I don't have a creative bone in my body. So for me, the design part seems like the very difficult part. I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
So
no, I get, everybody's got their, that's right.
A tribe. Mm-hmm. So you've done 11 of these events.
This will be 11.
What is the thing you look forward to the most before? Do you get nervous before the event, or is it more of a relief? Like it's finally here, it's coming to fruition, you get to see it on stage.
Well, it kind of depends. I usually, like I said, because for me, usually the inspiration comes very early. So, the other designers tease me because I usually have mine done and hanging in the closet by April.
Again, this is why I like star student over here.
But it's because I can't control.
Yeah, what happens?
When the inspiration comes. And when the inspiration comes, it becomes an obsession. And if I want to get this obsession out of my brain, I have to make that damn thing and hang it in the closet.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to let me think about, fixing my leaky sink faucet or, But so I'm not nervous in that respect because I know I did challenge myself more than usual this year. So it's still not even completely done yet. But you got to have a challenge.
Yeah.
The only time I get like really nervous is when Pat's actually auctioning the thing and the paddles are going up.
Yep.
And he's in his wonderfully gifted way, he's beating people into submission, and the frenzy is going in the room. I mean, your heart is just,
Yep.
It's absolutely up in your throat. Mm-hmm. And then it's like this massive, well, I've never had children, but I guess it is kind of like giving birth or maybe birthing puppies. I don't know, because it's all so cute. Then it's like, as soon as the sold thing goes down, you start to breathe again.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then it's like the next day you go home and you buy fabric for next year.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're already inspired for next year.
Yes, I am. And I have stuff sitting in a shopping cart.
Do you have a favorite design that you've done in this course of time, or?
Yeah, I have my personal favorite, only because of what it was made up of. Mm-hmm. My personal favorite was one year I bullied 4 of my best friends who were all also designers for Beyond Pink into doing the cover. Oh, I know, it was the 50th anniversary of the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which has been voted by someone, the best album cover of the 20th century. So I bullied my friends into, who were all, a little bit younger than me, but we're not any of us were we young, lithe, beautiful models. And they all said yes. And I did the uniforms from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with the drum, and they were in those satin military uniforms. So I did with the drum head that said Sgt. Pepper's, and the fifth person was the Blue Meanie from Yellow Submarine.
Oh my gosh!
It was Amy, but it was me and Mary Tafuri and Ronnie Rhino and Trish Comrie and Amy McCoy.
That is amazing.
And that was a special year. I don't know if the audience got it, but I guess my favorite design year was the year that I did Greatest Showman.
That was my favorite of your design.
With the pull toys, the circus pull toys.
That was amazing.
That was a fun year.
Well, you've got so many, so
yeah,
you've got a lot to draw on.
But I loved the pull toys. The bear and the elephant.
Mm-hmm. That was a fun year. I remember that. Was that 19 or 18?
It was before.
It was before COVID.
Before COVID. The one the next year. Oh yeah, because the next year was the transforming dress.
Yes, that's right. So
then it was the masks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took the year off.
The transforming dress was
that was
the
12.
First year that I was executive director, so that would have been 21.
So it was the year before that.
Okay, so it's been 19 because 2020 was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. I know. Like I said, I had to get my pictures out.
Yeah,
and go
like, look at all
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there something you're looking forward to most about the event this year? You're part of our event committee, so you kind of get to. I mean, we start planning.
Well, I mean,
so
it's always.
Early.
It's funny because even though our designers are kind of a sisterhood, we're kind of like the audience almost in that I don't get to see the other designers work until our dress rehearsal night before.
That's right.
So that's always like a very exciting when you see what everybody else. I mean, you might get a glimpse when we did a photo shoot of one person's, but to see them all, and then I'm. Gobsmacked every year. Each year, I think our technical team gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
And so to see what they've come up with for lights, and what they've come up with for background and video and all the tech magic that happens every and it's different every year. So it's always exciting.
It is. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to look
There's
forward
a lot.
to. And you also help host our red carpet, so you get to see people as they arrive and see all the excitement.
And I think we might try a little something different on the red carpet this year, more along the lines of sort of the teaching, the did you know?
Oh yeah,
did you know? Just between Kaylee and I.
Yeah.
Did you know that X number of women under the age of, or how many women per capita between the ages of 20 and 30 are diagnosed with breast cancer?
Yeah. Set the tone.
Yeah. Did you know? Because I truly believe that repetition is the way people learn things.
It is.
So yes, we put out literature. Yes, our pre-show has, information, but you can't say it enough.
No.
I don't think.
No, you can't.
You can't say it enough.
You really can't. And
if they don't want to read, fine. They can listen to me say it.
Exactly. Yes.
You can't say it enough.
No. Nope. It's important.
So we're going to do, so the red carpet will be a little different this year, too.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's all the questions I had. Thank you. Unless there was something that you wanted to share or something you wanted to cover.
I don't think I can. I mean, I talk too much as it is, so. I don't think there's anything left for me to share other than my age or my bra size. No.
Well, we should probably remind people tickets are on sale now. The event is Saturday, September 23rd at the
Yes, it is.
Davenport Grand. It's a little early this year, but we're excited.
We're excited, and we say this every year, and it's like nobody believes us.
Yeah.
It's just like what I said about you can't say it enough. The event will sell out.
It always does.
Always does. Mm-hmm. Spokane is notorious for waiting till the last minute.
That's true.
Now, we have made it, of course, easy for you because we're virtual as well. So you can sit there in your jammies and have a cold Bud Light if you want. But then you miss all of that energy and excitement and passion that we've been talking about here until you experience that in the room. You have no idea.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So don't wait.
No.
Don't miss out on those live tickets.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, too.
My pleasure, Jess.
And we're 30 days away. No pressure.